So, could I invite Or Retzkin and his team from Israel to come and do their presentation, please?
Today we will present you the eye control, which we have been working for the last 3 years on. My name is Or Retzkin. I'm the CEO of the company, and my grandmother passed away from ALS 11 years ago. Together with me here, Itai Korenberg, the CTO of the company. His friend passed away 3 years ago from Duchenne, and this is how we know each other. And we will take you in this, I hope, 15 minutes to a short journey of the company since the very first days of the company, and we will show you what we're doing today.
We might all have perfect minds, but we're locked in our bodies. The current communication devices cost thousands of dollars, and the lucky few who can afford them still can't use them in a variety of situations. When not in front of the screen, including laying down in bed and whenever they leave the house. Eye Control is here to change this reality, to change our story. The people at Eye Control are creating a revolutionary device that allows locked-in people to speak using only their eyes at a fraction of the cost, so they can say what's on their mind anytime, anywhere.
So as you saw in the video, and you probably know, the existing communication devices, most of them are quite expensive. And even though the fact that the patient can afford buying those devices, they still cannot use them in a variety of situations when they are not in front of the screen of the device. For example, inside a bathroom, waking up in the middle of the night, trying to call for help if they're not calibrated to the screen, inside the car, and basically they cannot communicate when they're not in front of the screen. And in addition to that, we noticed that for the eye tracking communication devices, the pupils are using also for the actions, but also for the feedback of the user. And therefore, the user needs to require a technique in order to use those devices, which could take some time, and not all of the patients can use those devices. Eye control has 3 advantages over the existing devices. First, it is wearable, it is always on you. Second, it is affordable in order to enable as many patients as possible to be able to afford the device. And third, it is simple to use. In eye control, we don't use any screen, so instead of the visual feedback of the screen, we have an audio feedback, so that the patient hears what he wants to say instead of see it. The camera identifies the movements of the pupil and communicates with a small computer that generates the speech for the user. The device enables 3 levels of communication, from calling to help until a full conversation, and it can be connected to your smartphones, smart devices, smart house, etc.
Hi, my name is Shani, and I am the CEO of Pride for Life. What you see now is the first time in the world a locked-in patient independently communicating without a screen. Thank you.
So as I said, this is we'll take you through the journey of the company. So this was presented in the IBT, the Israeli Brain Technology Conference. It was, I think, our second prototype of the device. And back then, 3 years ago, when we started, Microsoft Israel was one of our first supporters. Today, the company is being supported by the Israeli government and by the European Commission and private angels and funds from Israel and the States. In 2015, we received a letter from the UN stating that this project will change the lives of millions. We're already working with the patients, and you're going to see the final product that will be in the market in 2018. And we demonstrated the device in a few institutions, in Israel, of course, but also outside of Israel. And we are working from the very first day with the NGOs and the patients in Israel. And we already did a clinical trial in Rambam, and Itai here will elaborate about the clinical trial and the actual device that we're using today.
Hi. So at the beginning of this year, we have conducted a clinical trial at Rambam Hospital in Haifa under the supervision of the of Professor David Yonitsky, the head of the neurology department. In this trial, we had 10 healthy users and 5 ALS patients. Each one of them participated in 4 sessions, and in each session, we asked the users to try to have a few tasks regarding few features of the device, and after that, the following session, we have tested it again in order to see the learning curve and the overall performance. Now you're about to see a short introduction for the device.
Hi, my name is Tanya, and I'm the Director of Business Development for i3 Assistive Communication, and I'm here today with Itai, our CTO. Hi, Tanya. Welcome to the 15th Annual Allied Professionals Forum demonstration of the eye control device. The eye control consists of a lightweight head unit and a main processing unit which houses our custom-designed hardware, the battery, and the speaker. The comfortable head unit is designed to be wearable for an extended period of time, and the user could even sleep with it. It has a bone conduction earpiece which sits comfortably on the side of the user's head, which eliminates the need for the user to have an earpiece in his ear. The infrared camera tracks the user's eye gestures so that the user does not need to be calibrated to a screen or perform exhausting eye gaze. The device has the ability to broadcast in a different language, enabling communication with a caregiver that may speak another language. For example, Itai can hear the menu options in Hebrew and send the output speaker language to English. He can also change the voice gender. For now, you're going to hear the earpiece language and the output language, just so you can hear everything that's going on. But normally it's private communication in the ear.
Okay, before getting to the features, we tested the algorithm of the device, the eye tracking. Each user performed 50 gestures twice, so we had 1,500 different gestures which were recognized by the algorithm at 99%.
Itai will now demonstrate the first level of communication with the device, which is sending an alert signal.
Okay, that was the first task we asked the participants to do. Each participant did that 10 times in 2 different sessions. The success rate for this action was 92%, or 87% for confidence for large groups. Now we'll move to the next feature. Oh, sorry. Okay. I forgot to switch.
The user can also choose from a predefined sentence menu. The device comes with out-of-the-box predefined sentences in categories such as hospital, family, or doctor. In this way, the user does not need to type anything in order to communicate their immediate needs. The user and the caregiver will also have the option to upload personalized sentences using our website. Itai, can you please choose something from the predefined list? Itai just sent the communication, help me turn. Itai, on the level from 1 to 10, what level of pain are you experiencing right now? Itai just communicated that his pain level is 9. This level of communication is meant to be able to express immediate needs, not for extended communication.
Okay, so at the second level of that was the second level of communication. At this level, we tested in the clinical trial a vocal communication board, which includes 110 different phrases, which we believe that this amount of phrases will allow the users to express their immediate needs. And what we saw in this trial was that the maximum time it took for the slowest person in the trial was 36 seconds, and we're talking about the first usage of the device. And the mean time was 21 seconds. So in 21 seconds, the user is able to express whatever he needs out of 110 possibilities. And that was, again, for the first time using the device.
The device can also be connected to a tablet or a smartphone via Bluetooth. Itai will now connect to the tablet and demonstrate the features of the application. The application has the ability to remain in the foreground of the computer, allowing the user to connect and disconnect whenever they like. Itai is now writing a message. You will be able to see that he's using an autocomplete function.
Okay, so besides the fact that we wanted to see that everyone are able to use the application, we wanted to measure the time it takes for someone to write a letter. And as you can see, for the first, even at the first usage, it took the user 5.6 seconds. This is without any specific, without the need to gaze at specific point. Without the need to be calibrated to the screen.
Itai is also able to compose free text just by choosing from letter groups. He is now navigating between the different letter groups, for example, A through E, F through J, etc. To select a letter, Itai will close his eyes in order to hear the choices and open his eyes when he hears a desired letter. Itai, how are you feeling today?
Okay, so here at the alphabet feature, we don't even ask the user to look at the screen. He's able to compose free text only by hearing, and this is done by choosing letters from groups. And the time here you see 12.5 seconds include the time to move between the groups and to wait for the sequence while he's closing his eye. Also for the first time of the usage of the device. Besides the features, we were able to show that the learning curve is really good. As the feature is more complicated, we saw a bigger learning curve from the first time to the second time. So the alphabet was 30% better at the second session, and the application was 12% better. And how much time it took us to train or to explain it to the users. So we also measure the time it takes us to explain it to the participants, and you can see it's a matter of minutes. So in order for the user to be able to communicate all 3 levels of communication, it takes less than 20 minutes of explanation.
So we chose here to show some of the features of the device. These days, of course, we don't have enough time, but the device also has the ability through Bluetooth to connect to other devices. As spoken before, it could be also a wheelchair and a smart house, and you can get the idea that the eyesight of the user is not being blocked by any wall, by any screen, this time as the camera sits underneath and the eyesight is clear. And today we're completing all the regulations needed for the device, and our goal is to be ready for the market in the next couple of months, at the end of Q1 of 2018. And finally, about the company, so this technology put assistive technology in the front of many awards. The company was awarded #1 Future Tech Israeli company by Geek Time, and was included also to be on the top 3 Israeli life-changing technologies by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we invite you to go with us together and to improve locked-in patients' communication. Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, we just have a couple of minutes for questions. Do we have any in the audience? Yeah, I've got one down at the front, please.
Hi, my name is Iris. I'm coming from Germany. What I would like to know is there a difference for people with glasses who use it, or people with clear eyesight?
So it is a good question. One of the things you could see in the device itself of the product design is that we did a lot of effort in order to enable patients who also wear eyeglasses to wear the device and enable them also to use the device. As you could see, our first prototype, it was kind of eyeglasses. So it was instead, the patient or the user needed to choose between eyeglasses or the device. And we have the ability also to work with eyeglasses. We keep developing the algorithms for the last 3 years, and we're keeping developing the device in order also to be able to go outside to the sunlight, which is another known problem of infrared eye tracking devices. And yes, the idea is that the user will be able also to work with eyeglasses.
Thank you. Another?
Yeah, hi, my name is Linda. So my question you almost answered already. My question was actually if it's possible to use this outside.
So we have been testing also the device in light-changing environments. Still, we have a better accuracy in the home, of course, as the light are not changing. Although also changing inside the light environments inside the house was tested and was good, and outside also. But it depends also on the amount of sun. But you can imagine about the device itself. The camera sits closer from the eye-gazing devices usually. So the infrared from the sunlight, in our case, is easier to solve, and we are working on that and keeping updating the software in order to be able to completely work also outside. And I'll take another minute to say also, the idea is that we want to enable the user also of using eye-gazing devices to have also the eye-gazing devices for other purposes. But once they are not in front of the screen, they can wake up the eye control, and by that enabling 24/7 communication. And for the users who can't work with the eye-gazing devices, they will have the eye control as their primary device, and they can choose what kind of features they want to choose, including other features that we didn't show here.
Okay, thank you all for that presentation. Thank you both.